Hey everybody, I wanted to make a quick video for you this evening. Have my Harbor Freight belt sander here, and I kind of caught it on a sale where it was only like $20 more expensive than the 1-inch sander. And so I opted for it over the 1-inch sander just because I knew the motor was more powerful and just overall it had more capabilities. But it lacked a table that I kind of needed for knife projects that I wanted, and so I went to Lowe's and actually found this bracket. And this is a bracket used in the framing process, and this bend right here, as well as this bend, is original. This bracket originally from here to here was 6 inches, and so I did have to cut this back a little bit. You can see where I cut it back there. And I put a different bend in it so that it would accept this narrower space here. And then I attached it via the two existing screws right here. Actually, this is the bolts rather. This is the bolt that was originally on this side to hold on the little fence that comes with it. It's just a little longer, so I opted to put it over here and put this one over here. And then I used the one that was already down here, and this piece of steel fits very nicely kind of in this little 90-degree notch right here. So it's an easy way to make sure that everything's squaring up 90 degrees. On the other side, I just took two screws and screwed it in through the metal. I kind of investigated, and the only thing that really spans this joint is a metal partition right here. That's the only thing that really gives it any strength, so I wasn't really worried about hitting anything here. And in the process, I didn't have to butcher this hole with the original fence. So these screws are, let's see here, from Lowe's, and they are 12 by 3/4 inch. 6 pieces. Trying to get a good clear shot for everybody. 490249, and I've used a few of them for this project. Needless to say, I didn't use all of them. Hope that comes into focus. There we go. Excellent. So that's kind of the first thing I did. I had to make some makeshift washers over here on this side just because it wasn't quite the right size. I didn't quite have all my ducks in a row, so I had to use some spacers here. And so this is obviously for knife sharpening and all that, or not knife sharpening, but making a knife and doing that initial profiling. And then I also wanted to have a axe sharpening capability. So this is a bracket also from Lowe's. There's the number on it. You can look it up. And this is another bracket that's commonly used in the framing process. And I simply took a screw and screwed it in from the bottom side. And these screws fit very well in the holes that are existing. And then I took a bar clamp. This is from Harbor Freight, and just clamped it to the bed of the sander. And that holds it really, really steady. I'm not worried about that at all. But I can take this and lower it up and down, and lower this up and down really easily, and get whatever angle I want to on the front of the axe blade. If you're not familiar with this process, it's done, the way I heard about it was via Wrangler Star, and he actually used this, the existing fence with the Harbor Freight. But as he noted, and I didn't really like it either, whenever you're beveling the axe, the blade is sitting like this, and with that big of a piece of metal, I could easily see where it would kind of get out of your hands. And so I felt like it would be better having the belt drag past it with the I believe it's called the pole, the hammer end of your axe sitting here, and the blade of your axe sitting here. So that's just another thought. So now with this belt sander, have very minimal invested. All this together was less than $10. I believe it was $8 and something. But just with 2 brackets and a pack of screws and a little bit of sweat equity, you have yourself the opportunity to make some knives as well as sharpen some axes. So I'm kind of excited. I haven't used it yet, but I really believe that this is going to work quite nicely. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. I know having a legitimate fence on a belt sander of this size isn't something that normally comes around. This fence is pretty wide. You can see, it's all 4 of my fingers here. And so what I think I'm going to do is cut this about in half, because if you're down here next to it, you're not going to flex this bracket at all. But if you get out here on the end, you start to have a little bit of manipulation, ability to manipulate how this thing is setting 90 degrees from here if you start to bend it back. So I'm going to cut it off, I do believe, and kind of neglect my ability to do that, just so I can make sure that the angles that I'm setting on the block is kind of what I'm expecting here. So I hope that's useful to y'all. It was just something that I came up with, a solution to a problem that I had. I'm also going to take a chisel and knock off some of these sharp edges. That would be a bear. So I hope that works for you. Let me know if you have any more questions. I'll take some measurements if needed. Thanks again.